Okay. It says, therefore hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. All right, so our people are drunken, but not with literal wine. It's off of these spirits, the doctrines of men, the traditions of men. They're in captivity behind enemy lines, so they're drunken off the religion of this man, the doctrine, the philosophies, the school, the miseducation, the indoctrination, which makes it a lot worse. They don't even know who they are now, and they've been lied to about who they are. And so now they have no esteem, no nothing, man. They can't even find their way back. Okay? Because the Lord has put our people in jail, man. This is a jail to our people, a prison house. Isaiah the 14th speaks about that, how Esau, all right, the so-called white man, had made the world a prison. All right? Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, and thy power that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling. This is speaking about the elect. Those of us who are turned back, but we're a part of the Israelite nation. So our people are going to get secondhand blessings. Not on this side, they're going to be destroyed, but they're going to come back in the kingdom. So they're going to be saved. All right, but they're going to have to die on this side. That's something you heathens won't experience. You will not get that, right? All of you people talking shit and you think you're getting one up because you get to shoot Jake and you get to, everybody clapping for you. You get a GoFundMe. You talking shit about our people. You gonna die in America, bro. There's no chance for you. There's no hope. You're getting ready to take the mark of the beast, and this so-called white man is getting ready to run a sadistic play on everyone, and you're not exempt. All right? We ain't going back into slavery, no. Okay, now will they try to make the appearance and make it look like it's gonna be all witchcraft, right? Because they're gonna use fear to draw you people into this MOTB system, and they're gonna use white supremacy to draw you, you devils, into it as well. Give you a little gift. The scriptures say a gift destroyeth the heart, which the heart is the mind. They're destroying your mind. You think everything is sweet. You think it's about to go back to the 1600s and you about to be making all this money and you about to be having a nigga scrubbing your feet. Nah, they're just buying some time as they plot on you patriotic so-called Americans. There is no patriotism in America. Okay? Even your own leaders are saying this. Saying fuck you right to your face. And at the same time giving you a gift like, all right, yeah, you could be racist. We'll give you the green light. But it ain't gonna work like that. They really setting you up. Okay? You so-called white people are not no fucking warriors in no time at all, bruh. Okay? The only thing you've done that gave you the victory, for one, it was prophecy. Two, you like to stab people in the back when they turn their back and help you out. And steal and shit, You're a criminal. The biggest criminal the world has ever seen. All right? So the Lord has taken out that cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury, thou shalt no more drink it again. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, see, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over. So that's not about to happen again, bro. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. Let's hit this other scripture. Right? So you're delusional, bro. It's funny because all I see is videos online of you so-called white people getting fucked up, beat up bad too. I seen 3 videos so far of one Jake beating up like 5, 6 white boys at a time. And we're not talking about the white boys that are actually Israelites, that are so-called black people in white bodies. We're not talking about them. Those are Israelites that look like so-called white people. All them boys that's all up in UFC, and their genealogy can prove it. Okay, it wasn't up until recent time where Italians and Irish were accepted as so-called white people. And now they're only accepted because, the so-called white man's population is very low out here in the world. But really, they were seen as the niggas of Europe. Yeah, because they're descendants of the Moors. That's why they were exiled from Ireland by what's this nigga name? I always forget this nigga's name, man, every time, and I know it. Okay? Exiled to the islands, the Caribbean islands. The Vikings, the Celts, those are all Moors. The tribe of Benjamin, the Israelites, the Negroes, right? But what do they show you on TV? They show you something totally different. That's why you so-called white boys be gassed up. Okay, but that's not really you. Look at the Tuskegee Airmen, right? The Germans, right? I think it was World War II, either World War I or World War II. They had to use so-called black fighter pilots. Because you so-called white boys couldn't do it. It was them. It was this. They call them the red tails. They saved your ass. The so-called black man saved your ass. Go into that history. Them black fighter pilots, man. Which just shows you anytime we do something, we put our hands to it, we're gonna do it better. Okay? And this is why the so-called white man needed to, put all these enchantments on our people. And I'm not really blaming him because you niggas should know better. But shit, when you born into this place and then you don't know who you are, shit, that becomes your upbringing. That becomes your doctrine, what you learn. Okay, I'm this, I'm from Africa, I ain't shit. Okay, this so-called white man created everything. And then a nigga don't achieve, he don't strive to be nothing because he thinks, okay, I don't come from that. All right? So we're in the time that all this truth is coming out, and you devils, man, we're at the end of all things, bruh. You motherfuckers are not ready for no riots in these urban cities. All right? Especially you live in the suburbs, bruh, you outnumbered, you outmatched. Two different lifestyles, bruh. You so-called white boys be out here with open-toe sandals, pushing strollers, and you got niggas out here twisting their head around all day, every day. Their head is on the swivel. They don't know if they're gonna live or die. They gotta get it how they live. So we've been in that state of mind, war, bruh. What the fuck are you talking about? You seen a couple of videos and you heard the president say a couple racist things. Now that makes you, Superman? Nah, nigga, that's that pride and that's that ego and that's that what you call that? Lack of self-esteem. You so-called white man, you don't have no self-confidence. And you really think you could take on Jake, bruh? I grew up around Jake. Are you crazy? Why you think everybody does this clap down every time they see a black person get beat up? Because that's not, in these people's minds just like, oh shit, well, we didn't expect that. But you don't understand, it's a lot of niggas are destroyed in their mind, but hey, these niggas are strong out here, man. Even though they're in a fallen state, you other nations, you ain't equipped. The only ones that's closely equipped to take on the so-called black man really is the Latin tribes, because they Israelites too. Why you think in UFC and in boxing, the only ones that can really get with, okay, and then dudes like Fury and all them guys is Israelites. They not white boys. They look like white, but they not white boys. Okay? You see? Because there is no such thing as a white boy or a black boy. Okay? It's about nationality, not about colors. Okay? You got so-called black people like my mom that's so light bright. She don't even have a hue of brown. She's completely yellow. Completely. Motherfuckers be speaking Spanish to her. And both her parents so-called black. And her brothers and sisters, they all darker than me. She's the only one that's that light. Okay, this is Deuteronomy 32 and 15. But Jeshurun waxed fat. That's another word for Israel. And kicked. Thou art waxen fat. Thou art grown and kicked. Thou art covered with fatness. Meaning goodly things. You think you good. Then he forsook God, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. Yahweh Shai is supposed to be the rock of our salvation. What this is saying is that, outside of pseudoscience where you want to lie to the world and say that black people, we just come from Africa, right? We've been all the way around the world 5 times and back before the so-called white man ever even discovered America. Okay? And we had empires, we had riches, we had gold. All right? We built, what do you call them shits? Not palaces. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Not a mansion. I'll say palaces, yeah. We built them all throughout Africa. We built them all throughout Europe. Okay? In Jerusalem. This is the history that they don't teach you here in America. All right? So that made us proud as hell. As a people, that made us arrogant. Just look back to the 70s. Look back to the 60s when Jake had them afros. The women were beautiful. Okay? The men, we all had trades. We were what? You know what I'm saying? We were sufficient. Esau had to integrate us so that we could, be redlined. All right, but before we were integrated, we was building our own communities. You want to talk about the Mexican shit? We was outdoing their ass. Ton 10. Are you kidding? You know, you had to bomb all of our cities all throughout America. That's something they don't teach in school. Okay, you either drowned all of our cities and made them into lakes, or you burned them down. Okay, because that wasn't the will of the Lord. This is not the kingdom. We're not supposed to be building in this place. This is not our rest. This is the land of your captivity. You Jakes are exiles here, man. All right, but you got proud and you esteemed yourself highly, and you didn't look unto the Lord.